Have you ever scrolled Etsy and saw that people were making a ton of money on printables and thought, hey, I could do that? If so, you're not alone. I too had this thought before I started selling printables, but I'll be honest with you, it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. Selling printables has its struggles, just like everything else. Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I teach women to sell printables so they can use their creative skills to make passive income. But I always make sure to tell people that making and selling printables on Etsy or elsewhere is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Just like any other business, it takes some time to get started. It takes commitment to keep going. And it takes tenacity to overcome the obstacles that can occur once you start. So let's start with the first struggle I had when selling printables and how I overcame it. The number one struggle I had to overcome was fear. If you're thinking about selling printables, you can probably relate to this, whether you'd like to admit it or not. After all, if you're here, it means you've thought about selling printables. So why haven't you started yet? I'll tell you the reason. It's fear. In life, we have about 4 core fears. And one of them is looking bad in front of others. Could this be one of the fears that's holding you back from starting? It certainly was for me. What would people think of me if their files didn't work? They would be so mad at me. Could I handle it if someone left a really mean review? As it turns out, I have messed up files. Customers have been mad at me. People have left scathing reviews. But at the end of the day, I'm still standing because conversely, I've had amazing reviews. I've had the chance to work with amazing customers and bring their creations and suggestions to life. And I also have sold over $100,000 in digital products on Etsy. What if I didn't get over this fear? Then none of that could have ever happened. You need to remove fear in order to make strides in your life and in selling printables. How do I recommend you do that? Take one step at a time. Do the next best thing. You'll look back and realize it wasn't as scary as you thought it was. The next biggest struggle I had to learn the hard way was the idea of not infringing on other people's work. Wouldn't it just be easier if Disney and Pixar and all those other brands just let us use their stuff? Yes, it would, especially because clearly those brands aren't creating the supply that is being demanded. I think the struggle here is not that you can't infringe on other people's work. It's easy to stop making invitations with Snow White and Bluey on them, right? What's not easy is watching other people sell these exact types of items and make a ton of money and never get caught. It takes a lot of personal growth to realize that while other people have not been taken down for selling branded items, it may not be their lesson to learn. The thing is, we're all here to learn specific lessons. One of mine was to not steal other people's stuff, and that's been an ongoing theme in my life for years. But it's my lesson to learn. Understanding that living in alignment with your values is more important than making a few $100s on copyrighted items. How can you overcome this? Simply by showing yourself proof that you can make money not selling those types of items. Once you do, you'll be encouraged to keep going and never set foot in that dangerous territory of your printables business. The third and final struggle I want to share with you today about selling printables is comparing ourselves to others. Oftentimes, we compare our day 1 to someone else's year 10. And this is just not going to do us any good. When you see other people's shops and see that they have thousands of sales more than you, it could make you feel hopeless and that you are so far behind. But what I want to say here is that I've been there. Sometimes I still look at other people's shops and have the same feeling. But the thing is that we are all on our own journey. And I like to remind myself that I am in the exact right place at the right time. We tend to get impatient with our goals, and it can feel like everyone else is achieving so much more than us more quickly. If we stay in this energy, we can never be successful. We need to remember that we are each on our own journey with our own lessons to learn. Therefore, our journey will never look the same as anyone else's. Suffice it to say that it's good to stay patient and trust that the universe has your back. That's perhaps one of the hardest things to do. Believe me, I know. Start at year 1 and then look back a few years later at your growth and your progress. You got this. Your success is inevitable. All that said, while these are the biggest struggles of a printables designer, you can't forget about the biggest benefits. The first is that there's low overhead costs. Selling printables requires minimal startup costs because all you need is a computer, internet connection, design software program, and a platform to sell your printables. The second is that there's no inventory management. Since printables are digital products, you don't need to worry about managing inventory. You don't need to ship or store anything. Thirdly, you have flexible work hours. Selling printables allows you to work from anywhere and set your own schedule. You can choose when you work, or you can continue to work in your 9 to 5, or work in another business that you already have. And lastly, it has great passive income potential. Once you create one printable, you can continue to earn money on it for years to come. I think overcoming these struggles are worth it to have those benefits. Don't you? If you want to start selling printables but you don't know what printables to sell, make sure to take my quiz to find out what printables are right for your personality over at atouchofla.com/quiz. In the meantime, tell me what you think in the comments below and if you can relate to some of these struggles. And I'll see you in the next video.